Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nofara Akila binti Roslan and my matric number is 053592. So our group choose to assess a writing as our topic. So we will give the student a writing assessment, but the question is, what are we going to assess them on? So the first thing that we are going to assess them is their vocabulary skill. We already taught them new vocabularies in every lesson. So writing assessment is one of the ways on how we are going to see their understanding, or we want to see how well they memorize their vocabulary that we already give to them. Other than that, this is also one of the ways on how we are going to evaluate their uniqueness or their maturity in their writing based on the word that they use. So second thing that we are going to assess them is their grammar skill. As we know, grammar is very important when we are going to write, because it is how to make our sentence looks grammatical. So what we're going to assess them is we want to know if the student use the correct verb or use the correct tenses in their writing. Because sometimes the question actually need them to write in past tense, but instead they use present tense, so it is automatically wrong. So the third things that we are going to assess them is their spelling. Spelling is very important so that the real meaning or the exact meaning can be portrayed in the writing. If the student spell it wrong, it might convey another meaning that's not related with their writing. So it might be a little bit confusing, and also sometimes it will make the sentence wrong. Last but not least, what are we going to assess them is their content. Does the student stick to the topic, or does the student describe the things well? And also we want to see if they understand the question and also follow the instruction given. So basically, for example, if we give them question which is write a sentence based on the picture given. So are they describe the things on the picture, or describe things that out of the picture, which is out of the topic? So that's how we are going to assess them.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurfana binti Mazlan and my measured number is 053528. A valid writing test should test only writing ability and not other skills. A test that contains a variety of writing tasks gives a more representative picture of students' writing ability than one that contains only one writing task. Testing writing skills depends on the context and students' level of proficiency. For elementary level students, it should cover testing, spelling, and grammatical structure. For intermediate and advanced learner, it should be writing as a process, a kind of dynamic assessment, not just focusing on the product. They should have innovation, creativity, and grammatical competence. It also helps them to enhance their writing skills. Many different writing tasks can be used to elicit example of students' writing ability. The length of the text the students produce should be specific. For example, writing a description of something from a diagram or picture, writing a summary of text, writing on a topic to a specific length in words or paragraph, and writing a story based on an outline provided. In general, writing assessment fall into two categories. First, objective, second, subjective. For objective, which requires students to select the correct response from several alternatives, or to supply a word or short phrase to answer a question or complete a statement. For example, we have multiple choice, true or false question, matching and completion. Second, subjective or essay, which permit the students to organize and present an original answer. For example, we have short answer essay, extended response essay, problem solving, and performance test item. For a varied approach, utilize a combination of all available test question types so that you can appeal to the learning strengths of any students on the examination. That's all from me. Thank you.
For this section of this video, I'll be showing a few examples of questions that can be used to be tested. The first one is the gut feeling. Usually, the answer will either be provided or not provided, and the answer only required between word or phrases. The next example is the form completion. So, it can either be a food pyramid chart, for instance, or a form completion or tables. And the third example is making corrections. In this type of questions, students the test takers were required to correct the grammatical error or the spelling error or the punctuation or all of it based on the questions itself. Moving on to the next example is the essay writing, which has been familiar among the test takers. And the common format that can be used is either the guided or format writing. Guided writing were usually based on the stimulus given, while the free writing, the content can be freely write within the topic given. And last but not least is the letter writing. So a few situations will be given for the test takers to create the sentences based on the questions itself. For instance, writing a letter to a pen pal, or writing a reply or replying a letter to an invitation from an employee, and the information given based on the charts or graph to be summarized in the test taker's letters. And that are some of the examples of questions that can be used by the teachers to be tested to the students. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurfadia binti Hasnan and my matrix number is 053471. So I will be talking about the issues in implementing the writing assessment. So the first issues that I will be talking about is the difficulty in defining the construct of writing. Being unable to define the construct of writing will affect the construct validity of the test. Writing process consists of planning, text regulation, and revision. So what does it mean, difficulty in defining the construct of writing? As I said before, writing process consists of planning, text regulation, and revision. Therefore, in our examination, there will be time constraint, which is 30 minutes for students to complete their essays. Therefore, this time constraint will not allow the students to do their planning and revision for their essays. And this time constraint is also not correlation with the real life assessment that they do in classroom. The next issue is about the types of the questions. As we all know that the test should be fair for all the test takers. This means that the question should not require knowledge of any specific contents, and also the topic should not be culturally biased. This also shows that there is low correlation between the scores and real life experience. Furthermore, The essays that require certain of knowledge in specific content will ended up encourage the students to memorize the essays, and they will not try to write based on their own ideas. Therefore, this will not help the students to develop their writing skills. So that's all from us. Thank you.